Hello, welcome to another session of the Homes for All orientation and training. In this session, we'll talk about your member service year and what we ask of members who participate in our Homes for All AmeriCorps program. In case this is the first video you are watching, I wanted to introduce our program staff and put a face to the name and voices you've been hearing. I'm Caitlin Zabo. I'm the Homes for All program director at the Homeless and Housing Coalition of Kentucky, or HHCK. I'm a proud AmeriCorps alum. I served in this program in 2015. I love AmeriCorps and what it does for our communities. I think national service is one of the best experiences that a person can have, and I love seeing what a difference it makes. Holly Dennis is our member coordinator for our national service programs at HHCK, and Holly is also an alum of this program. She served 2 years while earning her bachelor's degree. She is your first line of support during your service year. She's here to answer questions, listen to you vent, and offer advice and solutions to any challenges you might have. As you can see, Holly is expecting her first child in September, and we're so excited for her. Both of us are here for you and your site throughout the year. We are here because of you, so don't hesitate to reach out at any time. When you serve as an AmeriCorps member, you are representing something so much larger than yourself. You are part of a movement of more than 1 million people that have worked to solve unmet needs, give back to their communities, and be the greater good for our world. During your year of service, you represent yourself, your service site, our program, and HHCK. This puts you in a unique position of responsibility where your effort and hard work have the power to make a huge difference in someone else's life. The position to make a difference lies within you as an individual, but just know that you are one of many in Kentucky working to make affordable housing accessible for everyone. There are people across Kentucky that will have similar experiences and joys and challenges as you during your service year. And while the start of our program year looks very different, we hope to be able to bring you together in some way for you to build relationships and a support system with each other. We have 38 AmeriCorps members serving this year. Our service sites include nonprofits that build affordable housing, repair housing, provide services to those experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity, and other populations that are vulnerable. One of the best things about AmeriCorps is that it gives thousands of people from all different backgrounds the opportunity to learn new skills while serving their community. All of our members bring a number of different experiences and their own wealth of knowledge, but the base of the qualifications to serve in our program are the same. We ask for and expect members to commit to a full 1-year term of service and provide 1,700 hours of service that's not just at their sites, but also through service projects, community events, and other statewide initiatives. Members have until July 31st to serve their hours and will not receive all of their benefits, like the Education Award, if they voluntarily leave the program or are exited for cause. We don't want that to happen to you because we want you to get everything you've worked hard for. And in all transparency, it helps us meet the expectations our funders have for us, and it helps keep your site eligible to host AmeriCorps members in the future. Members also have to meet certain eligibility criteria to serve with AmeriCorps. And what I think are some of the most important qualifications to have is an understanding of the tangible benefits of service, like the living allowance, but also having a willingness to be an active participant in the program and understand that your service is more than what you are doing at your service site. We ask the same of every member while they serve in our program. The most important ask we have of a member is that they have regard and respect for members, the people they serve, our program staff, and the site staff where they serve. We ask members to demonstrate a service ethic throughout their year with an understanding that we meet people where they are at, and that those we work with and for are people with inherent value and dignity, and we should treat them as such. Housing is a human right. It's not a reward. And we believe all people are worthy of housing that is affordable, that people have the right to choose where they want to live, and live fear-free from the many injustices that are prevalent in the housing world. If we can promise you one thing during your service year, it will be that you will learn new things. Be willing to have your attitudes and beliefs challenged. When you are faced with a challenge or problem, try to be solutions oriented. And ultimately, don't forget about communication, not only with your clients and your service site staff, but our program staff as well. The program year and term of service schedule is designed to set you up to be successful. In order to do that, members need to serve around 37 and a half hours per week. The schedule that you set up to accomplish that is with your service site and your site supervisor. We do not decide when you serve, but we do want it to be reasonable for you and a thoughtful schedule as to not burn you out. During your year of service, you receive 10 personal, 10 sick, and 10 designated holidays. These days you can take off. Do not add to your hour requirement. The days are just built into the schedule that we've designed. As long as you serve approximately 37 and a half hours per week, you will be able to take this time off without fear of not meeting your hours. This not only means you are committing to complete 1,700 hours, but it also ensures that your site and community has the benefit of you serving for a full year. The service term also requires your participation in projects and trainings with Homes for All and other Kentucky AmeriCorps programs and members. These trainings and projects have gone online for the rest of 2020, but should we be able to meet together in a way that ensures your safety and health, we will do so. Any expenses related to a project with us, like mileage, meals, or lodging, is covered by our program. 1,700 hours is the magic number during your service year. Again, you will serve around 37 and a half hours per week, but we also have monthly benchmarks for you to take into consideration during your year. This benchmark calendar is available in your member manual and is set up for you to stay on track with your hours to ensure a successful year. The majority of your 1,700 hours will be direct service in one of these four service categories. These categories include homeless services, construction, housing services, and activities with volunteers and subjects like financial literacy. A number of your hours will also come from training and service projects with our program. The only allowable service hours align with these components and can be found on your member position description or in your member service agreement. At no time should you be asked or expected to spend more than an occasional instance on anything other than what's in your position description. In case you haven't picked up on the terms we've used throughout this session, it's a good time to visit the appropriate service language for you to use during your AmeriCorps year. The first being the member. That's you. You are not an employee, you are not a worker, and you are not a volunteer. You are in this really unique position, and that position is an AmeriCorps member. You are placed at a service site. Your service site is not where you have a job, where you are not employed, and it is not a work site. It is a service site. You also follow a position description. This is not a job description because, again, AmeriCorps is not employment. And during your service term, as long as you serve every period that's in your term, you will earn the full living allowance amount. This is not a salary, it is not a wage, and it is not a stipend. It is a living allowance. AmeriCorps is a movement that changes lives. We can't say that enough. And you might be thinking, that sounds really cheesy, and you really sound over the top. But we say it because we've seen it happen over and over again. AmeriCorps changed my life, and it changed Holly's life too. We promise that it will change yours as well, if you let it. The lives of the people we serve are also changed because a lot of the time, the site you are serving at doesn't have the capacity to serve as many people without AmeriCorps. Without you, people might not receive the housing intervention or response that they need. And because of your services, our community is for the better. We know AmeriCorps is a great personal and professional development opportunity. And to support your growth during your service year, we have established a four-component aspect of our program focus specifically on members learning more about housing issues in the many different forms they appear in, and how they, as an individual, can work towards positive change, even after their service year. We'll talk more about the member development plan in detail next week, but just know that each of these components are thoughtfully crafted to ensure that they are meaningful for you. Another area in which we have expectations for our members comes from social media. As a program, we use multiple platforms to engage with members and establish program visibility. These channels include Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are intentional about what we post because we know that we also represent AmeriCorps, and one flip comment or careless post might damage the relationships we have with our members, our sites, and our clients. So, if you are a member that uses social media, we ask that you consider how the posts that you put out into the world will be received and how they may inadvertently become a reflection of our program and of AmeriCorps. We are not restricting your right to free speech or your opinions on social media as long as those opinions or that speech doesn't harm or dehumanize other people. What we ask is for you to use good judgment and assess whether identifying as an AmeriCorps member or with Homes for All or HHCK is appropriate on your social media. Our non negotiables for social media while serving as a member in this program are that you pause and think before posting. Understand that our work in the communities we serve in are valuable and can be negatively impacted by recklessness or hate on social media, and ultimately, your presence does reflect our program. During your service year, you will experience so many things. So we encourage you to show up, be present and mindful while you are serving. Take the opportunity to learn something new or attend a training. A member can expect to get out of service what they put into it. The work our program does is so rewarding and enriching, but it can also be really challenging. It can be stressful and frustrating and disappointing. So if you were only looking for AmeriCorps to be a job, which it's not, or a way to advance your career, it will not mean as much, and it might make it difficult to not leave service early when you are going through one of those challenges. But when you are having one of those days or weeks, seek out support. We are here. Your site is there for you. You have 37 other AmeriCorps members and 15 members in our VISTA program that most likely know what you're going through. Do not isolate yourself during your year of service. AmeriCorps members most often go into the service year enthusiastic, passionate, and motivated. And even if the stars were aligned, the year would not look like the graph on the screen. If you have ever seen the show The Good Place, you know that life looks a lot more like something called Jeremy Bearimy. You will have many ups and downs because that's life, right? We know life isn't perfect. There is a lot of injustice and suffering and pain in this world. That's one of the things that draws a lot of us to this work. We want to do something about that pain. But we implore you to embrace the unknown and take it in stride this year. In all honesty, this image is rooted in much more reality than the last slide. You likely have started this year excited, and in a couple of weeks, or maybe even by the time you listen to this, you are going to think, what the heck did I get myself into? And as you are still learning, it might become even more frustrating that you haven't quite gotten it yet. But I promise that you will know more than you think you do. Confidence is a habit, not a trait, but it can take a long time to get to that point. And the people that appear confident in what they are doing might not even be that confident, but they are the ones trying and showing up, and that is what we ask of you. My dad shared a theory with me when I was younger that it can take up to 6 months for someone to fully understand their role at an organization or a company. And that's just about the time you, as your member, hit your stride in your service year. And before you know it, your service year will be up. But don't worry, you are able to serve more than once as an AmeriCorps member if you want to continue performing at your peak, like it shows on the slide. I like this quote because it reminds me a lot of the AmeriCorps pledge. The AmeriCorps Pledge you will take focuses on what you will do in the face of apathy, conflict, and adversity. We are working with such a vulnerable population, and the empathy that so many of our members have can be hard to turn off, and it can be really difficult to leave service at your site. This year is your opportunity to take action, seek common ground, and persevere. But when you are going through your year and persistence and perseverance seem a million miles away, there are ways to overcome. Our first recommendation would be to collaborate and develop relationships with the people at your site and within your program. We also have, again, those 37 other AmeriCorps members and 15 VISTA members that serve with Homes for All and likely know what you're going through. Our program staff is also here for you when you are having those troubles. A few more expectations we have for you are to seek relationships and support from your network. In case we haven't already said that a million times, this network includes your service site, your fellow members, and our staff. You will also need to represent AmeriCorps each and every day, not only with your words and your actions, but with what you wear. Each day, you should wear something with the AmeriCorps logo. Our program provides this gear to you in many different formats. We have t-shirts and sweatshirts and pins and lanyards and so much more, but it is your responsibility to wear it every day. We've already shared this with your sites, but we'll tell you this as well. If your site provides you with a name tag or a business card or any other material, those things should also include AmeriCorps or the AmeriCorps logo. During your year, anytime that you have questions, look through our HHCK and program websites. You can also look through the member manual that we've sent to you, and when those resources fail you, you can contact our staff. Our evergreen dream is to go through a service year with no issues or problems. We go into each program year with full confidence that all of our members will meet program expectations and guidelines and complete their service year, but that doesn't always happen, unfortunately. More details on our expectations and standard of conduct for members is found in the member service agreement that you signed with your paperwork and your member manual. Everything in that service agreement and that manual is included because it's something that has happened before. So please don't do something else that would require us to add it for next year. The types of issues we see are categorized as different levels depending on the severity. The disciplinary measures that are taken depend on the level and the frequency of the issue. We don't bring this up to be punitive or petty. We address it up front because we want to be open and transparent about what we expect of our members. Don't forget, our program's live training for all members will be at different times on August 12th, 13th, and 14th. The detailed agenda can be found in your pre-service orientation packet that our staff sent out. We are so excited to engage with each of you live, and we are so happy to bring you as new members and you as returning members together to learn more about what's happening this new program year. As previously mentioned, we have a number of resources for you during your service here. The first being My AmeriCorps. This is where you applied and completed your enrollment form and where you will request student loan forbearance during your year or your education award and your student loan interest payments after your year of service is over. America Learns is another website you should remember. This is for timekeeping and reporting. We also keep HHCK's website up to date regularly. And again, if those fail you, me and Holly are here for you. Take a few moments to write this contact information in your calendars, put it in your phone, add it to your planners, whatever it may be for you. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you found this informative and helpful and delivered in a way that will set you up to be successful this service year. Now let's get started on getting things done.